Now, Kaye, you posted a really, really personal video on your Facebook page yesterday, which has already been viewed by 160,000 times. It really resonated with me and really hit home, and I think it's important to explain what it was about.
Yeah, well, that's me sitting in the hospital car park because my mum has been in hospital for 9 weeks now, and she's had a very tough time. She had a stroke. We lost my dad in February. She looked after my dad, I mean, incredibly for 3 years. We all helped, but she was the absolute mainstay. And then she had a stroke and she's in hospital. So, you know, it's just kind of like tough times. And it just occurred to me we don't really speak about this period in our life that much. You know, I mean, we talk a lot about parenthood and we joke about, oh, you don't get a manual for kids, do you? And your friends will talk about the sleepless nights and the nappies and all the things that are tough. But I never saw this bit coming, you know, and I kind of think a bit of a fool for that, to be honest. And, well, what I want to say absolutely is I am blessed. I have had the best parents, the most wonderful parents who I knew I was loved, I love them, and I'm not grudging a second of the time that it takes. But I just think maybe we need to talk about the way we are now. People are living longer. We had our kids later, not you, Stacey. So you've got teenagers, you've got parents who need you, you've got a relationship, you're working. Sometimes it just feels really overwhelming. And I mean, and as I say, I'm lucky. I've got a lot of support. I've got, you know, things that other people don't have. But I just think it's a time that of life that we should maybe face up to and think about.
And also feel that we can turn around and say, I'm struggling to cope with this, or have a break without feeling that immense guilt.
Well, yeah, in La La Land, you know, my kids are now 10 and 15, and I suppose in the back of my head was, once they get a bit older, you know, I'll be able to go to the cinema again, and I'll phone up a pal and say, do you want to go for a glass of wine? And I'll have a bit of free time and all of that. And this is just not happening. And I don't want to sound resentful of that, because that sounds so selfish.
But you know what? But I think the very point that you're trying to make, you're also undoing it at the same time, because you're saying this, but then you're also saying, but I think it's okay. Listen, if you think about when we have our kids, how exhausting they are, and we can turn around to other mums and say, you know what? I'm just driving me mad. I want to pull my hair out. And I think we've got to be able to talk about, in the same way, about our elderly, because it's
without
very
justifying. I mean, I love them.
Yes.
You know, and I don't begrudge it. Yeah.
Because we know that. Like, we know that people love their children and feel like they're right on the edge and not being able to cope and overwhelmed.
And essentially, it's the same thing, I guess. You know, it's a whole role reversal. So you do end up becoming a parent to your parents. So it's like having children again in some situations.
Well, I mean, I'm very lucky. My mum is still sharp as a tack. And, you know, that's one thing, actually. Sometimes people say, why don't you get your mum to do this? Why don't you take your mum here, bring her there, do that? My mum isn't going to do that. No. I can't make my mum do anything, because she's an independent person. She may be a bit more frail at the moment, but, you know, I can't just pick her up and put her where it suits me.
No.
Because, you know, that's not acceptable. So you're just... It's like, what are you allowed to think? Are you allowed to take some time for yourself? Are you allowed to feel that actually I don't want to go to the hospital today?
Well,
or is that just a horrible thing to think? I don't know.
No, I think it's a very normal. I really think it's a normal thing to think, but we're just frightened of voicing it, because when my mum was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and for the first couple of years, she was still, you know, she could talk and she could move about, but it was too dangerous for her to be on her own. You know, she didn't know what. So we had to do the decision of she needs 24/7 care. And that was really hard. And my mum, when we were growing up, said, if anything happens to me, you put me in a home, you walk away. So there's part of you goes, oh, she said she wanted us to do that, but you're never going to do that. You're never going to walk away. When she got to the stage where she didn't know any of us, there was that awful moment. And I couldn't bear seeing her like that. I just couldn't. It broke my heart every single day. So there was mornings I woke up, got up, and I literally stood in my bathroom, looked in the mirror and thought, I don't want to go today. I don't want to see her. And the thing is, one part of you goes, well, you don't have to, because she doesn't know who you are. She'll never know. But then that child guilt, and it's my mum, goes, no, you have to, it's your mum. And you battle with that every day. And even like you, I'd say it to someone going, I don't really want to go and see her. I mean, I love her. You know, I always had to justify why I had that moment of, I don't want to see her.
What would you have liked from people around you, from friends and stuff? What? Because obviously I'm going through a lot of this with Kaye, and I'm trying to manage how to, and I want her to feel free to speak and just to offload. What do you think we need to do as the people around people that are managing the situations with her?
I honestly think for the people around you who've never experienced it, it is very hard. You know, we were lucky that the Alzheimer's Society were very proactive with us. You know, we could phone them at any time. And they were the ones that were going, because they've all been through it. Yeah, I felt like that. And you just need someone to go, I felt like that.
It's okay to feel like that.
It's okay, I'm not a bad person. But I think with friends and that, just to listen and not judge and not go, well, why don't you do this? Because all the whys and what ifs you've thought about a million times a day.